Welcome, food lovers, to a journey into the heart of flavor. Today, we're not just cooking, we're crafting an experience, a masterpiece fit for royalty. Get ready to create the royal biryani, the undisputed king of all rice dishes. It's a feast for the senses, and I promise your kitchen is about to smell divine. Let's begin by gathering our cast of culinary stars. First, we need 2 cups of the finest long-grain basmati rice, which we've soaked in water for about 30 minutes to ensure each grain becomes long and fluffy. Next, the heart of our dish, 500 grams of your choice of tender chicken or succulent mutton. For our aromatic base, we'll need 2 large onions sliced beautifully, thin, and 2 ripe tomatoes, chopped, to bring in that creamy richness. Have half a cup of plain yogurt ready. A tablespoon of ginger garlic paste will provide that pungent kick, and of course, what's a biryani without a generous handful of fresh mint and coriander leaves? These ingredients are the building blocks of our edible palace. Now for the step that infuses our meat with incredible flavor, the marination. This is where the real magic begins. In a large mixing bowl, place your chicken or mutton. Now let's shower it with love. Add the yogurt, the ginger garlic paste, a teaspoon of red chili powder for a gentle heat, a half teaspoon of turmeric for that beautiful golden color, a full tablespoon of aromatic garam masala, the juice of half a lemon to tenderize, and a good pinch of salt. Now get your hands in there and mix it all together. Make sure every single piece of meat is lovingly coated with this glorious spice blend. To let these flavors truly penetrate and work their wonders, cover the bowl and let it marinate for at least 1 hour. But here's a pro tip for an unbelievably tender and flavorful result: marinate it overnight in the fridge. Trust me, the wait is worth it. Alright, let's move on to creating our crispy golden onions or barista, which are the crown jewels of any biryani. In a deep, heavy-bottomed pot or a kadai, heat about 4 tablespoons of ghee or your preferred cooking oil over medium-high heat. Ghee adds a nutty, rich aroma that is simply unparalleled. Once the oil is shimmering, carefully add your thinly sliced onions. The key here is patience. Keep stirring them occasionally to ensure they cook evenly. You'll watch them transform from raw and pungent to soft and translucent, and finally to a beautiful deep golden brown. They should be crispy and sweet. Once they reach that perfect color, quickly use a slotted spoon to take about half of them out and spread them on a paper towel. These will be our garnish later, adding a delightful crunch and sweetness to the final dish. Now, using the same pot with that beautifully flavored oil, it's time to cook our marinated meat. The kitchen is about to fill with an aroma that's simply intoxicating. Add the marinated meat directly into the hot oil. You'll hear that satisfying sizzle as it hits the pan. Cook the meat on medium-high heat for about 10 to 15 minutes, stirring occasionally. We want to sear it on all sides and let it become tender and fragrant as the spices toast and release their essential oils. Once the meat has browned a bit and looks tender, add in the chopped tomatoes. Continue to cook, letting the tomatoes break down and melt completely, integrating into the spices to form a thick, rich, and luscious masala gravy that clings to every piece of meat. This rich base is the soul of our biryani. While our meat is simmering away, let's prepare our rice. The goal here is not to cook it fully, but to parboil it to about 70% doneness. This ensures that the grains remain separate and fluffy after the final steaming process. In a large pot, bring a generous amount of water to a rolling boil. To infuse the rice with subtle aromas right from the start, add a bay leaf, a couple of green cardamom pods, and a good spoonful of salt to the water. Now drain the soaked basmati rice and carefully add it to the boiling water. Keep a close eye on it as it cooks. Quickly, after about 5 to 7 minutes, check a grain. It should break easily but still have a firm, slightly uncooked core. That's the perfect 70%. Immediately drain the rice in a colander and set it aside. Here comes the most artistic part of making biryani, the layering. This is where we assemble our components into a symphony of taste and texture. In a heavy-bottomed pot, the same one you cooked the meat in is perfect. Start by creating the first layer. Spoon in half of your cooked meat masala, spreading it evenly at the bottom. Next, gently spread half of the parboiled rice over the meat. Now, for the flourishes of flavor, sprinkle a generous amount of your crispy fried onions over the rice, followed by a scattering of fresh mint and coriander leaves. For that signature royal touch, drizzle over some saffron-infused milk, just a pinch of saffron soaked in a few tablespoons of warm milk. Finally, add a spoonful of ghee for extra richness. Now simply repeat the process. Add the remaining meat masala, top it with the rest of the rice, and finish with the last of the fried onions, herbs, saffron milk, and another dollop of ghee. This layering technique ensures that every spoonful is a perfect bite. We're at the final crucial stage known as dum. This is a slow steaming method that traps all the steam, aromas, and flavors inside the pot, allowing them to meld together beautifully to create a perfect seal. You can traditionally use a dough made from flour and water to line the rim of the pot and press the lid on firmly. A simpler, modern method is to cover the pot with a layer of aluminum foil and then place the lid on as tightly as you can. You could also place a clean kitchen towel under the lid. Once sealed, place the pot on the lowest possible flame on your stove. Let it cook on dum for about 20 to 25 minutes. During this time, the remaining moisture will steam the rice to fluffy perfection, and all the individual flavors will fuse into one harmonious, unforgettable taste. The anticipation is the best part. The moment we've all been waiting for, the grand reveal. Turn off the heat and let the biryani rest for about 10 minutes before opening. This allows the flavors to settle. Now carefully lift the lid. Be prepared for a magical cloud of aromatic steam to escape, carrying the most incredible fragrance you can imagine. Look at that. You'll see perfectly cooked, long grains of rice, tinged with yellow from the saffron and brown from the masala. Use a 4-cora light spatula to gently fluff the rice from the sides, revealing the tender meat and the beautiful layers within. The colors, the textures, the aroma, it's pure perfection. You have created a royal biryani, a dish that doesn't just feed the body but truly fills the soul. And there you have it, a spectacular royal biryani, ready to grace your dining table. Serve this masterpiece hot, straight from the pot, perhaps with a side of cooling raita and a simple salad to complete the feast. Making biryani is an act of love, and sharing it is pure joy. I hope you enjoyed this delicious adventure as much as I did. If you did, please show some love by hitting that like button, sharing this video with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more culinary journeys. Thank you for joining me, and happy cooking.